So Arsenal and Chelsea ended 1-1. Of course, the massive talking point was the Caicedo red card. What would have happened if actually Caicedo wasn't sent off in this game? Who would have won the game and all the stuff? But there are a lot of important stuff to take from this game. And I actually grabbed some videos for you guys. And we're going to comment on all of them. Alan Pardew talking about Enzo Maresca. And actually talking about the Arsenal depth. Daniel Sturridge and Theo Walcott on Sky Sports match analysis. Talking about our Chelsea title contenders. And also, why are people from Arsenal, some of the people are crashing it on Arsenal. And why are some people disappointed in Arsenal? Should Arsenal fans be disappointed with the game, or should Chelsea fans be disappointed? And also, the big one that I'm leaving for you here is actually Jamie Carragher. I feel he's apologetic about his wrong takes about Chelsea when he actually said something about Chelsea and he's not liking the project and all the stuff and all the things about the players and Enzo Maresca and him getting sacked and all the stuff. I felt that he was a little bit apologetic about this. But we can answer a lot of questions. And I want to hear from you in the comment section about some of the questions that I'm going to ask you through these videos as well. But before we go on and show you the videos, of course, hit that like button, guys, if you guys are here, and subscribe. This Footy Judge Mo, I'm trying to get to 50,000 subs with you guys. So a like button goes a long way. So every like counts. So a like for every view would push this video to new viewers and a lot of viewers as well. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let me know. I try to respond to as many comments as I can. Of course, I can get to all of them, but let me know because I read every comment. Let me know in the comment sections what you guys think about this. And let's start by the first thing. If Chelsea, our Chelsea title, should Arsenal fear Chelsea? Let's listen to what Theo Walcott have said to answer this question.
Wrap this up, Theo, with some conclusions. Arsenal 5 points clear. Should they fear the challenge of Chelsea?
I think so. I really do. But just on that point there, Arsenal's problem last year, they drew too many games. Like with Chelsea, there's too many red cards. It's going to play catch-up, aren't you? Yes, I think right now Arsenal are very comfortable. They're very happy. But there's still gears to come. I do feel there's still more to come from Arsenal. There's been elements of this season where they've been a bit less patient in these games, yes, in the big games. I just feel they just need to pick up the intensity from start to finish, and a lot of teams can't cope with them. And that's what I'll just ask them, just to ask questions of each other during these big games, to maybe go away from what Mikel's saying to them at times. I think that's a big change for me.
I actually a little bit disagree with him on some points, and I agree with him on some points. Number one, I think I agree with him that Arsenal are comfortable. I actually think that Arsenal have another gear to go to. Arsenal, this is not the peak Arsenal of this season. We haven't seen peak Arsenal this season. And anyone that says, I told you so after the draw against Chelsea, they are wrong. And they have agendas. Arsenal away at Stamford Bridge is a good point for them. Because yes, the context and the red card, and Arsenal maybe should have went for it. I think sometimes you got to look at the team and see how good they are structurally. And I believe that if you look at this Arsenal team and you see them now, you see how good Mikel Arteta has done as a coach, how good they are structured. Today, maybe, depending on when are you watching this game, maybe they faced a very resilient Chelsea team. And I'm going to give a shout to Enzo Maresca here because of how he structures his team. But Arsenal fans, to be calm and composed, you're still 5 points ahead. I'm going to ask you a question. If I told you in the beginning of the season, come end of November, in the beginning of December, you will be 5 points ahead of City, 9 points ahead of Liverpool, and 6 points ahead of Chelsea, would you take it? I guarantee you, 100% of the fans would say, I would take that lead. Especially they played Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, and City already. So they played all, and Spurs. So they played the other big five in 13. So the 6 games coming, there should be a winnable games for Arsenal. If I asked any Arsenal fan, they would absolutely respond and say that. But now, hit the like button, guys, if you can see. Let's hear Alan Pardew talk about a very good element of Enzo Maresca's management in the game. And we're going to come back to a couple of questions about Arsenal's squad, Mikel Merino, and what happened. And are Arsenal the standard now? Because Daniel Sturridge said something that is very interesting that I wanted you guys to. Let's listen to Alan Pardew talk about the Chelsea manager.
You know, hat off to the manager, Maresca, because he's juggled the team really well this week. Remember, they played Barcelona and they were really at it.
Yeah.
And to get the team up again. And what was impressive today, really impressive, I thought, was how the Chelsea team handled the 10-man situation.
Yes.
They didn't look like they kind of just sat back and sucked it up. And
They were still aggressive.
They were still aggressive.
Yeah.
They were still trying to, try and score. And I thought they've obviously, you do work on the team when you take a player out and you work with the shape of your 10 to sort of know exactly what you're going to do when that happens. But the transition from the 11 to the 10 was hardly noticeable.
No.
And when you're taking off a player of that ability in Caicedo, I mean, he's a massive player for them. And still, they kept the game, fairly level in terms of a competition. So fair play to him. And the juggling actually has to do with all those young players. It must be difficult because they all want to play. Particularly young players. They all think they should be playing. It must be a difficult job.
100% what he said is true. I actually didn't feel that Chelsea are 10 men down. You kind of like in the middle of the game, you forgot about it for how competitive Chelsea were in this game. They didn't sit back and just concede the game. They were trying to commit players forward, which is a massive positive for Enzo Maresca. Hats off to him for absolutely phenomenal job that he did in this. And this is now comes me to Jamie Carragher, kind of apologetic a little bit about what he said about Chelsea. He echoes the point of Alan Pardew before I go about the point of the Arsenal team and the squad and what actually they did. So let's hear him, Jamie Carragher, kind of being apologetic a little bit about Chelsea.
I just felt as the game was getting to sort of the last 5 or 6 minutes, Chelsea was still a threat. So as a manager, if they'd have lost that wouldn't have just been losing a point. Psychologically, to lose against 10 men in a London derby, I think would have been a big blow. You've seen the Arsenal players at the end of the game. They looked a little bit deflated, but it's not a bad point. And I think it's not so much about giving criticism to Arsenal for not going on to win the game. I think we should credit Chelsea who thought were outstanding with 10 men. Finally,
Jamie Carragher is crediting Chelsea for something they did. It's absolutely spot on by them. He's spot on. I felt at the end of the game that Chelsea could have grabbed the win, in my opinion. You guys let me know. Did you think that Chelsea could have won this as well? Or, as you said, one of the things that maybe we'll check the Alan Pardew part before we actually go to the Sturridge and the Theo Walcott part again, is Alan Pardew talking about Arsenal and the mentality of both teams, because it's very interesting take by him about the mentality, because there's a lot of people, and I'm going to say this, there's a lot of people that started after the game question the mentality of Arsenal in this game, and I thought, Mikel Arteta subbing out Zubamendi and putting in Odegaard, that is an attacking sub. He put Madueke on, he put Gyökeres on, and I thought that is an attacking sub. People started questioning, do Arsenal want to win, or does he want to walk away with a point? I didn't think so. I thought that Arsenal also wanted to win, so as Enzo Maresca, which what made this game so exciting for me. I'm going to ask a question, and I want the answer from you guys in the comment section before I play the video. Who did you think was closer to the win? Was it Chelsea or was it Arsenal? I want to hear what you guys think. Or do you think a draw was a fair result? Listen, you know what? I don't want you to sit on the fence. I want you to give me an answer. Who do you think was closer to the win? Let me know in the comment section. I want to check the comments. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think as well. And also, before I play the video, make sure to check out okjersey.com. They're a sponsor today. They deliver to a lot of places in the world. They're very affordable football shirts as well. Not all of us can afford the 100, 120 pound jerseys. Very good quality. Use the code JUDGE. If you want to get yours, use the code JUDGE to get a discount at the checkout. Let's listen to Alan Pardew actually talking about the mentality in this game.
Arsenal, who've had a great week, by the way, that would have been the cherry on top to beat Chelsea away. And, especially when they went down to 10 men, I thought they're going to win it now. But just to put into context, this is what's on my running order, so before anyone starts going at me, being a Spurs fan, Arsenal have now dropped points against Liverpool, Man City, and now Chelsea. This feels like the year for Arsenal. This feels like it's their title. This feels like it's their time. Is that concerning at all?
It wouldn't concern me if I was the manager. I would be looking at that league table with a 5-point cushion and lost one game thinking, yeah, we're the ones and that everyone's got to catch us. So, teams have got to beat them now. And no one is really looking. I mean, even Chelsea, as well as they've played today, and again, going down to 10 men, they're threatened on the break occasionally. But you never felt Arsenal were going to get beat.
No.
And that's.
Do you guys agree with that part? Have you ever felt that Arsenal were going to get beat? I actually thought that Chelsea could have won this game. I disagree a little bit with that point. I thought Chelsea could have defended the lead and they might have snatched a 1-0 win. I know the mentality, and they scored right away. Arsenal, they scored and got it back, and they tried. And Sanchez stood tall. He was fantastic in the Chelsea goal. That mentality about Arsenal not losing games is ridiculous. And it comes from Mikel Arteta and the players and how they built this team. Let's listen to the rest of this, because it is very important what he says.
It's the one beauty that Arteta has at the moment, this kind of winning mentality that if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to play exceptional football.
Well, they always say, well, if you don't win, don't lose. And Arsenal didn't do that. And the point away at Stamford Bridge is always a good point for someone. It's Chelsea at the end of the day.
Yeah, of course. And particularly off the result that they had in the week, where, you know, they've taken Barcelona apart, I thought. Barcelona, I mean, I've watched Barcelona for many, many years, and they made them look fairly ordinary at times. So it's been a great week for Chelsea, a great week for both football clubs, actually, in London. And I said to you at the start of the year, I wanted to see that title come back to London, and I think there's a good chance it will.
Well, it leaves.
Yeah, fair enough, but I wanted to ask you guys something about this, actually. This is one of the things that a lot of people actually fail to tell you when they analyze football matches. Arsenal are going away at Stamford Bridge. So them winning this was supposed to be the outcome, because you're going to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Arsenal, at the end, yes, there is context of the game, but Arsenal getting a point is not a bad result. And anyone that keeps saying it's a bad result, they just want to pile on Arsenal. I think it's a great result for Chelsea to get a point with 10 men. I would think that if Chelsea stayed with 11 men, they would have been disappointed if they drew the game 1-1. Chelsea probably would have wanted the win, but put in the circumstances and how the game went, and Moises Caicedo's red card, Chelsea walking away with point is good, but also Arsenal walking away with point is not bad. It keeps Chelsea within touching distance from Arsenal, and it keeps the distance between Arsenal and the rest of the pack the same. 5 points out of Man City, especially playing away at Stamford Bridge. Remember, City still have to go to Stamford Bridge. City still have to go to Anfield. Liverpool are coming to Arsenal, so Arsenal are going to the Etihad. But that is not a bad result. On the balance of the league, it is not a bad result. The problem with the agendas and people that run agendas analyzing football matches is that they just tell you the result without the context of the table. This is a good point for Arsenal. And I applaud people for actually, some of the people that actually analyze this game the right way. Let's now listen to Daniel Sturridge talking about Arsenal. And I want to see if you guys agree with this or not, especially if you're a Chelsea fan. Do you agree with this take? This is one of the most interesting takes I have heard lately about Arsenal, because it goes against a lot of what people say about where Arsenal are, to be honest.
When you analyse Arsenal now, they have acquired themselves an amazing squad that can challenge on all fronts. They are probably, when you analyse other teams, they're looking at Arsenal as the standard now and going, I don't think that's happened in the last maybe 15 or 20 years. Theo, you could correct me if I'm wrong as a former Arsenal player, but to me, when I look at them, I think the expectation is that they are the standard and they're being hunted now. The expectation of them winning the Premier League is probably a collective sort of feeling, which is, again, probably the first time it's...
This is so rare to see someone that thinks about this honest. Do you agree with this take or you don't? You let me know. In terms of how Arsenal built this team and the squad and where Arsenal are today, and I keep saying this multiple times, today, if you look at this Arsenal team, yes, they might not have won, they have not won the league yet. But this is the standard. This is how resilient this Arsenal team probably is the standard about building a team, about a team that is very hard to beat, but also win a lot of games. Maybe Daniel Sturridge is being too honest about Arsenal, if you want to say that. Maybe because a lot of people say, but they haven't won anything. Oh, you need to win stuff. But if you look at where Arsenal are today, probably he's right.
Really happened where we're looking at Manchester City, we're looking at Liverpool, we're looking at Chelsea and going, Chelsea are a surprise package this season. The expectation wasn't for them to be challenging. So I think looking at Arsenal, they are in perfect prime position with all of the changes. We talked about Gabriel and Saliba today. The two centre-halves come in, they do well. So there really is no excuses in regards to Arsenal's capabilities this year. Now it's time for them to deliver. But it will be a similar thing now or next year.
Would you swap this squad for...
There is no next year. There is no next year. This is it. This is Arsenal's year. This is the Arsenal year. Of course, like, I'm not going to sit here and think about next year. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'd say it's this year. This is it. The squad looks good. Today, by the way, there's a lot of context that was taken out. Arsenal played without their two main centre-backs. Odegaard came in the second half. They didn't have a striker. Gyökeres was off the bench. There's a lot of absentees from Arsenal away at Stamford Bridge. And that is what people fail to say.
Would you swap this squad for anyone else's?
No, I just wouldn't. I think Chelsea, I'm trying to mould like Arsenal a couple of years ago. I feel like they are in that process. I wouldn't change the squad for anyone. I think the options he has, we spoke about on numerous occasions, they're all testing each other, they all challenge each other in a really competitive, strong, positive way. I think there's plenty of positivity, coming out of the club constantly, except from Mikel Arteta. He sets the start every day. I just think, for me, Arsenal, they need to be winning games like this, though, when you're going 10 men. We were saying they've got the best squad. Well, go and show me in these games when you're against 10 men to win. But having said that...
I know what he's saying, but also at the same time, going away to a Chelsea or a City last season against Arsenal, put in the circumstances, they were praised to get a point at the end.
They've just kept them at bay. So they will be disappointed, I understand that, but we're talking about the best squad right now that are trying to challenge Chelsea with 10 men. Not quite enough today for me. But look,
Again, I'm going to say, you can talk about the performances and everything, but again, I'm going to repeat, we are ignoring how good Chelsea were in this game. We're completely ignoring that Chelsea were so good in this game, that Chelsea tactically and technically, they were amazing. So the likes of Reece James was phenomenal. Chalobah was great. I think Fofana was very good as well. Enzo Fernandez stepped up massively, especially after the red card. And I thought that is taken away from the context. They're only analysing Arsenal from Arsenal point of view, but you got to look at the opposition to actually see how Enzo Maresca tactically today at Stamford Bridge played a magnificent part on this, breaking down the Arsenal press multiple times before the red card, and even after the red card. Chelsea actually were able to bypass Arsenal press with having Reece James and the passes, and even the substitutions that Chelsea did, they were actually good. Putting Garnacho on the left, I thought they were good. And this is one of the things that people actually forget to mention when analyzing these games. Let's listen to that. This last part about the video to see that last part to see, did Arsenal walk away annoyed? Are Chelsea going home laughing?
Is it unfair, Daniel, to say that Arsenal might have gambled a little bit more in pursuit of that winning goal?
I think that going back to maybe our careers, being on the pitch playing against 10 men, right? It's a gift and a curse because you're expected to win. You feel like, okay, it's our day now. We're going up against 10 men, but in a way it can be more difficult because you either are calm and patient, which is what Arsenal were today, but then there's not that intensity to speed things up. And you talk about 8 shots, you'd expect there to be more shots, but there are far less shots out from outside the box nowadays than there were when we were playing. So maybe people would have been taking longer range shots, whereas now it's more of a methodical approach in that this is our way of playing. We're going to play it wide, we're going to have overlaps, we're going to make, 1-2s, this, that and the third, and try and break you down in the way we would break down the mannequins in training, effectively. So, yes, you could argue that Arsenal should have maybe thrown a little bit more at them and gone...
I don't know how... Can someone tell me this? How can Arsenal throw more at them when Chelsea were very, very structured in front of their goal? Chelsea were defending compact. They were always doubling on Madueke and Saka on the right side. Even the goal, the Arsenal scored, there were 2 players on Saka, and he was able to get that cross in. Mikel Arteta, I don't know, should he have taken out a centre-back and risk losing the game? I wouldn't have done that myself. I wouldn't have actually risked losing this game against 10 men because it would have been detrimental to Arsenal if they risked this game and lost it. I thought he did the right thing. He tried his best, and I don't think it's on him. I think it's maybe some of the players letting him down. And also Sanchez was, as I said, was amazing. I don't think Chelsea did anything wrong. I actually thought that Chelsea overall would get a higher rate for me than Arsenal in this game. But I just a bit harsh for me, to be honest, from Dennis Sturridge. He's someone that I respect a lot in analysing football matches, and also he raised a good point about shooting from outside the 18.
And a bit more gung-ho, but as the manager said in the press conference, it's that in transition, Chelsea were still dangerous, and Robert Sanchez was really good on those crosses, coming to collect them and throwing them out. But I would have anticipated Arsenal to create more chances within that in open play, for sure.
But 13 games in, and after a really difficult week for Arsenal as well, they find themselves 5 points clear. Had they found the winning goal, would have been 7. And I'm guessing they would have taken that, Theo, wouldn't they, at the start?
Absolutely, as well. And when you look at the Liverpool, where they are in the league, and they were probably favourites to win it at the start, yes, of course, I think they would have looked at this table right now and absolutely taken that, of course. But look, you need to be careful, Manchester City. You're not quite sure They're not consistent enough in this moment in time. However, yes, I think the goal tally is exceptional. I think they're playing a level with a lot of players that haven't been available at times. So look, I think in this moment in time, Arsenal are sitting really well.
For context, this stage last season, Arsenal actually had 25 points and found themselves in second place, and Liverpool led the way with 34.
That's absolutely what they said is spot on. But listen, if you're asking your Arsenal fan, would you have taken this at this stage? They would definitely tell you yes. So I think Arsenal shouldn't look at this game and say it's 2 points dropped. It's a point gained in this stage of the season. It's still a long way. Arsenal have a lot of absentees. So I genuinely believe that maybe the team will get better with the likes of Havertz, Jesus, with Saliba coming back, and Gabriel is going to come back in December. So the Arsenal will get better. You know, Madueke comes in, Trossard is out. Maybe Arsenal, when they get the full squad, it will look better. I think so. Are City going to get better than this? Maybe if Rodri's back, they're going to get better. But I think Arsenal are keeping their distance. Can Chelsea do it? Is what I want to know from you guys. Will Chelsea do it? Hit that like button, guys, if you guys are here. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And also check out okjersey.com. I want to thank everyone that watching us and always supporting us, people. You guys are absolutely amazing people, as always, supporting the channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I hope that you enjoyed the video. And let me know in the comment section if you like this kind of videos as well. I will see you guys in a new one live. Turn on the notification bell to know, guys, when we go live. And we're out of here, people. I don't want to take more of your time.